Hey designers, and welcome to Transformation Tuesday. It is that time for us to get on the scale again, so you're going to want to stick around. Welcome back, you guys, and a huge welcome to those of you that may be new here to DeeVine DeeZine. Tuesday is the day around here when we weigh in, stepping on that scale, measuring that waist to know what our progress is on this transformational journey. The goal here is to get healthy and obviously to shed a few pounds, but even for those of you that don't necessarily need to lose any weight, the goal and the objective here is to just get healthy, because the foods that we're consuming are ripping us apart from the inside out, and we have all kinds of health-related issues when we're not taking care of our bodies. So let's just jump right on in to this week's progress report. First of all, let me fill you in on how I did this week with my eating. If you're already following me on Instagram and over on the vlog channel, then you guys already know how I've been doing because I've been showing you. That's right. Every day, well, mostly every day, I've been posting for you pictures of my breakfast, pictures of my dinner, snacks that I've been having, and those kind of things. And on the vlog a few times, I've shown you some dinners. I've shown you some of the stuff that baby girl's been cooking around here. We took you out to eat with us over the weekend, and we've been showing you along the kinds of foods that we're consuming around here. So that's going to be the easiest way for you guys to keep up with me if you're wanting to know. I know that several of you have mentioned wanting some healthy meal options posted for you, and right now that's the easiest way for me to do it. I am in the process of working on getting some healthy recipes up for you that we can put right here on this channel and maybe roll them into a Transformation Tuesday. But until then, if you want to follow me over on Instagram, or if you want to follow over on the vlog channel, that's going to be the easiest way for you to see what I'm eating. I've done very well this week. There was only one day that I had a cheat day, if you want to call it that. I forget what day of the week it was. You guys will remember on the vlog, we told you about it already, showed you that baby girl had made some homemade cookies that, oh my goodness, they were delicious, and the kids gave me permission to have one, and so that's what I had, was one. It was good, and it was worth it, but honestly, it has not created a desire in me to keep cheating. Sometimes that happens to me if I have sugar or chocolate. It'll just spark this thing in me that wants to keep eating that junky food, but this time, it didn't do that to me, so I was very grateful for that, very grateful for that. We went also over the weekend to Krispy Kreme. Yes, if you watched the vlogs, then you saw that, but guess what? I did not even have a bite, not one bite. So I passed that test with flying colors and was super, super happy about that. And then I can't remember if it was during this week or even last week. I may have already mentioned it to you last week. Cannot even remember. But one night this week, we made homemade chocolate donuts for the guys. And guess what? Not a bite. Not even a taste of the chocolate sauce. So I did very good on that. So I'm very happy with my food choices this week. As I mentioned, we did show you guys that we went out to eat a couple of times over the weekend. We went to a Mexican restaurant, and then on Sunday we went to Olive Garden, and again, I was very happy with the choices that I made. It really is easy to pick some healthy options when you're out and about. Now, obviously, even though you're picking the healthier option at restaurants, you're probably going to have a higher sodium content than you would if you're cooking at home, but picking whole wheat noodles over white processed flour noodles is definitely a much better choice, and picking the corn tortillas over the flour tortillas obviously is another better choice. So I was very happy with the steps that I made at these restaurants and eating out to eat the healthier options, and I feel like I passed that test pretty doggone well. So very happy with my choices for eating. Again this week, my concentration was on keeping the water intake up and on keeping the sugar at bay. Of course, aside from that cookie, but that was the goal again. Remember, we're taking this a step at a time, because as we incorporate some lifestyle changes, it's going to be easier to maintain those changes and easier to jump on board than if we feel like we've got to change everything all at one time, because that can feel overwhelming and insurmountable. So taking this a step at a time. So for week 2, that again was my concentration. Wasn't quite as good with getting all of the water in as I was on week 1, simply because we were a little busier this week, had a lot more running that we were doing, and we were out of town for a couple of those days, and it's always harder for me anyway to get all that water in when I'm on the run and on the go constantly, because it's not always so easy to find those bathrooms, if you know what I mean. So the water intake wasn't quite as good this week as it was in week 1. But let's just go ahead and step on those scales and show you what I've done. You will remember that I started off this process at 251.8, and look at here. Here is today's weight, 247. So that means that I am down 4 pounds and 8 ounces, which is 4.5 pounds. Now that's only a 4-ounce loss from last week, so I was a little disappointed that it only moved that 0.4, but I am not discouraged, because you guys will remember in a Transformation Tuesday a little while back, we talked about the importance of graphing out your weight loss, because you will begin to see patterns in your body. Each of our bodies are different. We're going to lose weight differently, and when we track that, we can learn to see what our body is doing, how it fluctuates with weight loss or weight gain, and we're a lot less discouraged that way. So graphing out the chart for my body, I know that about every 4th week I'm going to take a gain or maintain. So being that I lost 0.4, that's very good for this week, considering this would be the week that I normally would hit a gain. Yeah, so I didn't gain and I didn't stay the same. I still lost 0.4. So that's exceptionally well for me. And I also very well understand that it could be some of that sodium water retention from all of those restaurant foods this weekend. It wasn't quite as clean of eating as if I would have been eating at home. So I was disappointed that the weight loss wasn't more, but not discouraged. So graph it out, you guys. Graph it out. If you want to see a little DIY on how to put together one of these charts like I've made, let me know down below, because I'll show you how to put one together quick and easy. It doesn't cost you anything. You can even go online if you're really good at programs like Excel, and you can get that on your computer for you to make sure that you're watching the fluctuation in your weight. Because when you learn what your body is going to do, you can fight off that discouragement a whole lot easier to stay on track. Now let me go ahead and fill you in about the progress around my waist. Now I'm not worrying right now about measuring the legs and the arms and all that. By all means, feel free to if you want to. I'm concentrating right now around my middle, because when we carry a lot of weight right there in the middle, we run a higher risk of heart disease. So that's my main center of focus right now, and kind of how I'm keeping track on if I'm getting smaller and losing weight, because if you're losing weight there, you're really losing it all over. So I started this process off at 44.5 inches. I know, terribly ridiculous. That is too big. Nearly 4 feet around. Unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Today, whenever I measured my waist, I measured in at 43 inches. So that is down a whole 1.5 inches, you guys, from when I started. So that's 1.5 inches in 2 weeks, and I am very excited about that. So even though the scale didn't move as much this week as I would have wanted it to, that tape measure did, and so that made me very excited, very excited. That was another 1/2 inch from last week. I think I forgot to report that to you guys last week, but that's another 1/2 inch down this week alone, so very excited. That means that you guys need to be measuring as well as weighing, because sometimes you may not be losing on the scale, but you are getting smaller because you're toning up. You could be holding water. You may be replacing your fat with your muscle, all those kind of things that affect your weight. So you're going to want to be measuring yourself as well, so that you can get a true picture of what is going on. So this week, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be focusing on for myself this week. This week I'm going to be adding back into my diet the apple cider vinegar. We've talked about that before. We won't rehash that. And I'm also going to be adding back in the fungal defense and the primal defense. We've also talked about that before. That's for killing off the yeast. A yeast overgrowth in your body can make you hold on to unwanted weight. So very important to kill off that yeast. And probably this week I'm going to be a little more concerned with actually counting calories. I haven't done that for the last 2 weeks because I've just been trying to train myself on the food changes. Now that I've kind of got the food changes into a groove, I'm going to start limiting the calories. Yeah, because we want that scale to move just a little bit faster. So that's going to be my concentration this week. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm moving a lot more. You guys have also seen that over on the vlogs, running stadiums, walking the track, walking out with the Bubster, working out here at home with crunches and leg lifts and all that kind of stuff, push-ups and everything to start toning those muscles. So I'm going to definitely keep that front and center this week as well. But let me know down below, how did you guys do this week for week 2? Were you a little more apprehensive as the week got started? Did you find yourself struggling a little more, or did you find it easier? Was it a pretty easy week for you? Let me know. How did you do on the scale? How did you do in your measurements? How do you feel overall that you did this week? And also, let me know down below what your area of concentration is going to be. What are you going to work on moving into week 3? We want to know, because we're all trying to encourage each other and we're trying to do this together. It gives me a lot more motivation when I know you're doing it with me. So I really do want to hear from you. I hope all of you are doing well, and I hope that you're staying focused on getting that body back in health. Yeah, together we will do it. I want to thank all of you so very much for tuning in with me a few minutes today to listen to my progress, to hear my update on how I'm doing. Thank you so much for your love, your encouragement, and support. And a huge thanks to those of you that are joining in. Together we're going to do this. I know that we are. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. But before I do, I want to remind you, you were created for purpose. So go be all you can be. I'll see you soon in the next video.